This is the Canon AV-1, a cute little 35mm camera. With my recent fails in 35mm SLRs, mainly my two pentaxes breaking, I wanted to try out an SLR with a working light meter. So thank you to my flatmate Zoe for leaving their camera unattended and unsupervised in our house while I'm alone. The camera itself seems to be pretty easy to use, making it a perfect SLR for beginners or intermediate photographers. We've got automatic settings, adjustable ISO, a light meter, and of course, a beautiful sounding shutter. Now, enough about the actual camera, let's go and use it. For my first roll, I'd be shooting some expired Kodacolor from 2005. This being an ISO 200 film, I'd be compensating by rating it at ISO 80. And I'd also be shooting with this glitter filter I have. I've never actually used it before, but pretty much it refracts light, making this pretty cool effect, which I think looks really cool. I headed to the train station to pick up a friend. More like a foe, actually. My number one YouTube fan, Bhadir. Some of you might know him from his comments talking about his Leica or just making fun of me. Or you might know him from his amazing street photography, which you can check out on his Instagram in the link in the description. But me and Bhadir have been friends for about 3 years now, both watching our slow descent into analog madness. So today, I'd be taking him around Brighton and trying to get some good street photography. Oh, and I forgot to mention, I am shit at street photography. The first roll of film I'd be shooting today wasn't very street orientated, just more me getting used to using the camera. The AV-1 being quite lightweight for a camera makes it really good for just some one-handed photography. Comparing it to my F2, my wrist is gonna snap holding that thing. I took Bhadir to some vinyl stores where I fired off a few shots. Shooting at ISO 80 was a little bit tricky indoors, but the colours from this film have rendered it really well. There's like a desaturated warm glow to the images, which I really vibe with. The depth of field on this image is beautifully sharp and I adore it. That's all down to the nifty 50 on the front of the camera, which is at f1.8. And from my experience using it, I'd say it's a pretty good lens. We headed around the tourist areas of Brighton, showing him the Royal Pavilion and the pier. I didn't get many certified bangers on the colour film, but I did pop off a few self-portraits that kind of went hard. Once heading to the pier, I fired off my final frame, then loaded up my next roll, being a simple roll of Kentmere 400, which, you know, you can't go wrong with. This is where I started to take street photography a little bit more seriously, with Bhadir teaching me some of his tips and zone focusing. This is probably the first photo where the glitter filter is actually quite noticeable. The whole ocean has this weird glow to it, almost like halation, and I really quite like it. We moved down the seafront, just taking images of anything that really interested us, just interesting people, environments, what was going on. Coming from somebody who doesn't really do street photography, it's really interesting just being locked in constantly while walking down the road, looking at people, trying to see, are you interesting? Are you worthy of taking a photo of? What story do you tell? The only complaint I'd have for most of these images was that I'm using a 50mm lens and sometimes it can feel quite tight. However, images like this also justify using a 50mm lens. Being so close to this runner, you can really feel the motion and the direction he's going in. But at the same time, if I was going to do this again, I would probably use a wider lens. I love this image of a guy getting ready to catch the ball with the beach ball in the background, adding scale to the entire image. It's just really nice. I also couldn't help but snap a cheeky pic or two of Bhadir taking pictures every now and then. The sun had started to set at this point, which made some of my images more blurry and out of focus as I had to set my aperture to lower. I still really like this one though. There's a bit of jaggedness around the edge of the person, which just kind of makes him pop, and his outfit was kind of cool. This one isn't amazing, but the glitter filter is really glittering in this one and I absolutely love it for it. Ending on this car shot, I love the effect the glitter filter has had. The halation or the refraction, I don't know what you want to call it, is just beautiful. Maybe this one might be a certified match shoot banger. Something just with how the car is in motion, the lighting, it's just, I like it a lot. The Canon AV-1 is definitely a good camera, I cannot give it any hate. A lot of these photos were misses, but that's what's going to happen when you're testing out a new photography medium. I'm not good at street photography, but after seeing the images from this, I definitely want to try it again. I'm going to be completely honest as well, this is probably the most excited I've been waiting for lab scans back, because I really want to know, can I cook with these images? I'd definitely use this camera again. It's easy to see why people like this series of Canon cameras, like the AE1. This is just a really nostalgic camera. It's got the design, the vintage Canon logo, easy to use automatic settings, and a lovely shutter. Would I recommend this camera to other people? Yes. Do I need any more cameras? No. Am I probably going to end up getting another camera? Maybe.